Welcome back, everyone. I am back, finally, after taking a quite a long break, mainly because I wasn't really feeling WARNO, and I had to finish my bachelor thesis, which I did, and then family stuff happened, and yeah, life wasn't so easy, but it's okay. And I wanted to play WARNO again, and so I went into it. But because I haven't played since the rank reset, I had to grind like a few matches through the low elo hell. So those were not really worthy to upload because were like poor guys who played their first game, I guess. Well, technically, I also played my first rank game, but they also played as if that was actually their first rank game. But this one here is against Goblin 2K, who at the time of the match was 140 something ranked, so decent player. And yeah, I can already tell you that the match was an interesting one. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't upload it. As you can see, I am playing the 7th Panzer Division of East Germany. He's playing 8th Mechanized Infantry Division of the United States of America. The 7th Panzer Division is fairly good at the moment. Oh, considered fairly good, as far as I know. 8th Mech is like also okay. Both are, in my opinion, also, or like at least 8th is a fairly balanced division. I would say 7th as well, because they have clear weaknesses and clear advantages. Like the infantry in 7th Panzer might be a bit too strong because of the resolute trait, so and fairly good availability. So I'm not exactly sure about that. But 8th Mech, in my opinion, it also has like good infantry, but then it lacks spammable tanks. You have very good tanks, but you don't have a lot of them. And yeah, 7th obviously has a shit ton of T-72s and also T-55s if you want to. And also the Spezialaufklärer, but which are, how's it called? GSR or GRS? GSR, yeah, correct. This trait where when they're stationary, they get more sight. But as far as I remember, the 8th also has the LRS, so the American equivalent. So I'm going to deploy 3 of my GSR recon units. One in the middle here in the church, because it gives quite a lot of vision, as you can see. One on the right here in a fairly defensive position, because I assumed that he might try to push through the open, because as I said, he has the better tanks. Most importantly, they have more range than my T-72s. So if he can establish a position here with Abrams and also recon Bradleys and some standard ATGM launchers or even Dragon launchers, he can defend this sector here extremely well. Because I mean, I basically only have the open here and then like the bridge here. So that really sucks. That's why I'm going with a defensive deployment, one Spezialaufklärer, one Igla, and one Concourse to just defend and go hard into, or like hard onto the left and the city. I'm not going specifically hard anywhere for the moment because I don't want to play the division aggressively. So it's rather like spread out between the 2 objectives, but still a more heavy deployment than like here on the right. So we have one standard Aufklärer going into this building here, because I want to secure this corner for the CV. This is fairly standard. I could also maybe put the CV in here, but I decided that I would go with the CV in this corner here, but also a few infantry squads into the city itself and another Igla squad as well. It's going to be like one Sicherungssquad and one Pionierflamme. The Sicherungssquad is also very strong in my opinion, because it doesn't have the dishearten trait. It actually has the resolute trait and the security, which gives them good optics when they're stationary. So they're like it's not really a recon squad, but it's better than normal infantry at spotting. it's 7 men strong. They have an AT launcher, which is not particularly good, but it's an AT launcher. Like the West German Sicherung doesn't get any AT launcher. And they come in a BTR, which also has the Resolute trait. So, in my opinion, they're a very good squad. Also deploy a normal Nordschützen squad and the BMP with the Fargo M ATGM. Then on the left side, as I said, also a Spezialaufklärer. In hindsight, I thought that it might have been better to maybe deploy him on this road because I want to put him in this building, because as you can see, it provides quite a lot of sight. Here you are kind of being blocked by the forest. This one here, as you can see, so it's not optimal. And then also some infantry, Igla, Conkers. Conkers also deployed in here, because yeah, those buildings here have a very, very good sightline. This one here, not so much, but is still a decent spot for an ATGM. Capturing the sectors in the beginning, so yeah, nothing spectacular going on. Also have a fighter ready, because I only have Iglas as AA options, or like ground-based AA, so I bought the MiG-23 as an AA fighter, because 8th also has access to the helicopters whose name I forgot. I think they're Vipers, little attack helicopters. I'm pretty sure they're Vipers. And so a Viper opening can be very deadly. And because I don't know where it would be, and because you can also shift them around, I decided to buy a fighter, also just in case that he goes with a heavy air opening. But he doesn't, and he does something that I didn't expect. Actually, he rushes the city here, which is fairly unusual for a division that doesn't have good forward deploy, but in this case was a good idea by him, because I definitely was not prepared for that. So the Sicherung here is completely out of position, gets caught in the open by a Ranger squad and an Engineer Flash squad. So it's gonna be smacked quite hard. But the infantry on the right side here gets to deploy. Spezialaufklärer kills an infantry squad here. Conkers deploys, Sicherungs deploys quite far to the right, so they are not useful for the moment. But the BTR can shoot the infantry in this building. It won't be doing a lot of damage, but I mean, they can't shoot back at it, so it's better than nothing. Conkers killed his little CV jeep here, as you can see, so that's already a good kill to begin with. And I instantly called in 2 attack helicopters, because I'm afraid that he will just start reinforcing this area, and I also need to clear out the infantry that's already there, and especially the mech rifles, but also the Rangers are fairly beefy squads. Like, last time I played this so long ago, that last time I played the Rangers was still a like 6-man squad. That's a long time ago. Su-24 HE bomber comes in to dislodge the Rangers and the mech rifles. Gets shot down, unfortunately. 3 Stingers, like, it's a bit unlucky that 3 Stingers shoot it down instantly, but yeah, happens sometimes. RNG is not on your side. Because the Su-22 still has 30% ECM, which is fairly weird in my opinion, but it is what it is. More infantry coming in here, but because the Conkers is still in position, he can't really get them very close. But because there's the 3 Stingers, I have to be cautious with my helicopters, so I retreat them, and also they're out of rocket ammo. Well, this one, not completely, but 3 Stingers, too dangerous. And I don't have anything to provide anti-infantry long range, so he will just walk his infantry in. That's a bit sad. But you can see in the middle, nothing is going on. And the right side was also completely empty. So I just moved my few units forward to get some good positions here. But I don't really want to spend points to reinforce that, because he's still pushing hard into here. As you can see, more infantry coming in. So I'm a bit afraid to put units here, because losing the city is always very painful. Especially because I have already the good side, so it is easier for me to hold this city if I can have it under my control. Because as you can see, he has to move over the open. So it is very important to hold it, because it's just such a powerful position. While on the other side, as I said, it will be hard because he has the better tanks, but I can get into the sector here. If you don't know, like, you can, if you go here, you can see you can go quite covert into the sector. Like, I mean, quite covert. As covert as you can get into a sector over an open field. So you always have this avenue to at least get close. And I always also have these buildings here to fall back to. So I was kind of lucky that I got the better side of the map, arguably. I'm trying to push forward in the middle, because, you know, just probing and seeing what's going on. You can see I'm on a +1 tick, but +1 is not that much. And if he captures this sector, he will be on neutral. But, I mean, there's still a lot of pushing going on here, so I just want to preemptively see if I can put some pressure here, or even capture something, but you can see there's a lot of infantry there already, so, like, there's an infantry squad here. Here you can't see it, but it was just shooting the BMP, so a lot of stuff going on. Calling another helicopter to this side, because his infantry is moving through the open, but unfortunately his Viper 1 passes me. Falcon, the F-16. F-16s are pretty good fighters now, because the F-16 and the Phantoms both got their speed buffed. Finally, they're not subsonic fighters anymore, which was always stupid. Which is not exactly helpful against helicopters, actually, but in general makes them better fighters. But as you can see, still perfectly capable to one-pass an armored heli, so that was pretty sad. My Igla wasn't able to get him, and I still don't have enough AA. Didn't react fast enough with my MiG-23. Helicopters on the left are rearmed though. Those are the two bad armored helicopters though, but they only cost 120 points and are, I mean, they're still armored, so they are pretty cost effective for what they do. TOW here in the open. TOW is very dangerous, so I have to watch out with my T-72 and with the BMPs. Right side here I'm completely getting pushed out. Spezialaufklärer is now stranded, but I can't really do anything with it. I refuted my infantry in the middle with some losses, but nothing too big, just to hold the position. Helicopters are dislodging the engineer squads here. One engineer squad. That's the one big advantage of 8th, in my opinion, that a lot of their infantry squads have a lot of health. They don't have any resolute squads or something, they only have the rangers who are special forces, which are really strong, but all of their like standard infantry is also very big squads. T-72 going down to the TOW, by the way, very sad. But yeah, that's a big advantage of 8th. Now I use the helicopters to get rid of the Stingers. One is dead, the second one dies too, but unfortunately it's the Mi-24, so really good RNG on his side with hitting my helicopters, but that happens sometimes. Call in an Su-24HE bomber. I'm pretty sure I bombed some infantry here. And call in Su-22 cluster on the Abrams and kill it. I like the Su-22s quite a bit, because as I said, they have 30% ECM, like the cluster and the HE variants. And the clusters one-hit basically all tanks, I'm pretty sure. Maybe like the heaviest of the heaviest tanks with ERA might withstand it, but most of the time it will one-shot. The enemy's MiG-23 and F-16 go head-to-head and nobody gets killed. That's par for the course for WARNO area engagements. F-16 almost gets it, but I get lucky and escape. I used those two SPWs to try to kill off the TOW because it was in the open, and I thought maybe I would be able to kill it because it's not in cover, but the SPWs have apparently absolutely abysmal accuracy over max range, which makes sense. So they're not able to kill it. Still nothing really going on in the city, but I'm fine with it because I'm still on a +1 tick. And yeah, as I said, if he captures this sector, he will neutralize it. And I don't like it when I'm not ticking, but it's still better than if he's ticking, so it's okay, and I don't want to overextend and lose the infantry unnecessarily. So I'm just staying in place, getting some supplies. He has the laser guided bombers now, which are pretty bad. Like they have the small bombs, not like the TKS F-111 LGB bomber, which has the big laser guided bombs. This one has small ones that, I mean, they almost do no damage. Here I don't know what he's even targeting, honestly. Maybe he was trying to snipe my CV. But I mean, this LGB bomber can't even one hit the tank, maybe a T-55 if you're lucky, but everything else above the backline reserve tanks, they can't one hit. So I don't really like them, but I still get AA up because I don't want him to snipe my infantry or like Conqueror's teams. This is what this bomber is very good for, to be fair. My problem with it is it also comes in at one plane per card. As like all the other LGBs, which in my opinion is a bit stupid. It should come in at 2 per card because it's not that good anyway. Like, I understand it for all the others, but not for this one. On the right side here, he's moving more infantry and more forces into the sector, which makes a lot of sense because, as I said, it's very defensible for him. Finds my Spezialaufklärer, which is sad, but was to be expected. Bomb his infantry and his Bradley. The Bradley, obviously not the strongest at tanking damage, but the Totu is a very, very powerful tool, especially against T-72s, so I wanted it dead. And he only gets a limited amount because he only gets it in the recon tab. F-111 coming in to bomb the BMP. So yeah, you can see it's good enough to bomb a BMP-1, but let's be honest, is it really worth buying an LGB for how many points is it? 215 points to bomb what is it, a 35-point BMP? I'm not sure. Coup, one of them hits, so he has to retreat. That's good enough accuracy for the coup, honestly. 1 out of 2 rockets hitting, can't complain. Infantry here, from him trying to get a foothold in the city. He also has brought up 3 mortars. It's very well done by him. You can see he is constantly smoking this area here where I have my Conquerors, but I moved it slightly to the right so I can shoot his Abrams. But he still has gotten a few infantry squads into this forest line at least. And because they're so beefy, they can last for a decent amount of time in those forests. So that was well done by him, and the mortars are also bombarding my infantry here. They don't particularly do a lot of damage, but they suppress, and they will still do some damage over time, which might just be enough to tip the engagement in his favor, so you really don't want to be sitting in the mortar fire, because it's just never advantageous for you. So he gets a command in again. This time it's M577, which is armored, and has 10 HP, contrary to the Jeep, which is, yeah, well, unarmored and has, I think, 4 HP. I get in the cluster again to bomb his Abrams, because, as I said, he has just a limited amount of them. So my objective here is to kill them off as soon as I can. So my T-72s can roam freely once I have a decent number of them. If I have enough of the T-72s, I can still overwhelm the Abrams. But if there's no Abrams to begin with, the T-72s are even better. So on the right side, nothing's really going on. I need to get more recon in, but I'm really struggling for points at the moment because the attack on the sector is still going on. And if he smokes, for example, this corner and just puts his command there, there's nothing really much I can do about that, because he still has a Totu somewhere around here. Here, he can still get a new Abrams in, and I assume that he should have more AA by now, because I have killed like 2 Abrams and a bunch of infantry squads and a Bradley with my planes. So at this point, I assume that if I go in for an Abrams with the SU-22 cluster, it will most likely be a suicide dive. So not much I can do against the corner, but luckily he's not really doing that. He killed my Conqueror's team here, but I'm getting in a new one. I also got myself my own mortars to hold off his infantry pushes. Big advantage of the mortars is that they fire a lot quicker than the big tube artillery, and obviously that they also can lay smoke quicker as well. So in general, they do less damage and are far more spread out, but you can react quicker with them. And you can see here I do what I said before. I try to advance on the left-hand side. It should have put them more to the left, honestly, but yeah. Again, one of those mistakes you do when you haven't played in like half a year or something, or even longer, I think. And I also, at the same time, advance over the bridge here. So that's kind of a two-pronged attack. Unfortunately, he has an infantry squad here, but luckily for me, they only have the Law, which is a very shitty AT launcher. When he has 13 penetration, so you can see he couldn't even one-shot a BMP-1, which is, I mean, that's just sad, honestly. But it's good for me, because my infantry survived, and actually took barely any damage. One BMP died, but yeah, that's whatever. It's a BMP-1. That's an acceptable loss. Also have two T-55s in support, and here you can see a lot of air coming in. My final Spezialaufklärer was meant to get in here, but was sniped by the mech rifles with the Dragon launcher. That was not well micro by me. Should have seen that, and his laser guided bomber bombs my infantry here. So yeah, that's what the bomber is basically good for. But if I was a better player, I would have had my troops more spread out, like I have them too far in the center here. And then his LGB already would have had a far lower chance of even getting through. And then is the question, is it really worth it to use such a bomber to maybe kill one infantry squad? Yeah, I really don't know. So I have a foothold established here, but this infantry squad is very low. I mean, this infantry squad is still full health, but I will most likely face some like 11-man squad or whatever he has. So I really need more stuff coming up. T-72 here coming in. That was a misclick. Like I wanted to buy a command T-72, but accidentally bought a normal T-72, so that was a bit dumb, because I could have gotten the sector a lot earlier. You can see I'm buying it now. He is retreating his command vehicle, which is a smart choice, because he doesn't have it, and he does it because he doesn't have anything there, and because he retreats his command, I assume that he doesn't have anything here left, because otherwise he wouldn't be retreating it. So I just drive my tanks through to maybe snipe some other retreating squads or whatever. Instead I find a bunch of advancing squads and a TOW-2 launcher, which luckily misses, which is quite rare for the TOW-2s. And good for me, because a T-55 I think gets 2-shot by a TOW-2, might even get 1-shot, though I'm not completely sure. On the left-hand side, nothing much going on. He's like constantly artillerying the sector, but not really advancing into it. The C-72 M1 here is providing some long-range support, but there's another M1A1, and the TOW-2 is also firing here, so I retreated to have it alive once he pushes in with some infantry. Conquerors here providing long-range support as well. SU-22HE here died. I can't remember what I bombed with it, honestly, because he brought in two F-16s. I bring in two MiG-23s. But unfortunately, I retreated him just the wrong time. But luckily for me, I still get one of the F-16s. That was very lucky. SU-22 coming in for the M1A1. I'm pretty sure I didn't get that one because the spread was like giga big. And as you can see, it was just as I said. I brought it in, he had enough AA, and it was a suicide run that wasn't even worth it. I didn't kill the M1A1. So yeah, pretty unlucky. And not the best decision done by me. But happens from time to time, you know. Nobody's perfect. Getting up some supply here to reinforce the tanks and the infantry, but he's bringing in another tank, another M1A1, so he has a lot of cards in his deck, which is fine. Like this, I also take a lot of tanks in 8th mech. Some people like play more with air or like pure infantry, or not pure infantry, but more infantry or whatever. But I think you should take a lot of tanks with 8th. Here he catches out my AA in the open, because I wasn't paying attention because I was looking at the left, trying to get the TOW-2 and microing my T-72 against Abrams. Because the problem is, because the Abrams has a higher range, he can engage you while you can't even shoot back, and if you don't pay attention, he can just kill your T-72 without you even ever firing a shot. Getting in my T-72 here, yeah, again, that's what I said, my mistake. I could have pushed it back like a lot further, so that he would have had a harder time seeing it, but for the moment he's not seeing it at all, so that's okay. Bring in my last helicopter, but unfortunately he has an F-16 coming in. This time he doesn't get it on his first pass, And my MiG-23s also then get the F-16, so average WARNO air engagement. Second F-16 coming in and killing the Mi-24. Is to be expected. Two F-16s will almost always kill an Mi-24. He's moving in with more infantry here, and you can see like there's no chance for me for an infantry squad against like 4 of his. That was really bad. Both my tanks here also already died. So really bad news, but the BMP gets a hit in with his ATGM, which is good. I'm basically just buying time and trying to get some more damage in for the eventual engagement of the T-72 against the M1A1. On left hand side, he captured or like contested the sector for a short amount of time, but conquers, snipes his command vehicle. So absolute champion. Now T-72 engages the M1A1 first because he doesn't see me, but I see him. So that was very good. And because I got the first shot off, I win the engagement. And because both shots hit, which is kind of lucky, but at this engagement at the Vet 1, it's also kind of to be expected with a T-72, like most tanks actually in WARNO. So the T-72 survives, the command tank, but like I only have 1 infantry squad left in the sector, so that's very bad, and I can see that more stuff is moving in. On left hand side, the TOW-2 just doesn't die. He still has infantry sitting in this sector, but now I have already bought in the big tube artillery, the Acacia 152mm, which now aren't called Acacias in the East German decks. Yeah, it is what it is. Because I see him and I have the recon here for the corrected shot, I am fairly certain that I will kill this squad off at least. So, good target. Reposition my mortars just in case he starts counter-battering them. Infantry moving up on my infantry squad here. Yeah, there's really no chance for him. 1 against 2 with them having more people than he. Yeah. Not a good fight. But I also can't really retreat because there's only the open field or the bridge here, so I just basically just let him die to again buy some time. T-72 here shooting over the open. Another M1A1 Abrams appears, which is really bad because this time he got the first shot off, so I instantly smoke after being hit. And retreat a bit. I hope that I can repair a bit and also reload the smoke, which is very important at this point. I have nothing to support it here from the right, but I have the last cluster plane available. So I go in, almost kill him. It's like a pixel of HP, and then the T-72 finishes him off. So again, a very good engagement. Well microed. And also RNG a bit on my side, but then again, could have also one-hit him with the Su-22, so you know what I'm gonna say, I did well. And RNG wasn't completely on my side. New infantry squads coming in to support, I'm just kind of ballsily driving them up over the open, because at this point I'm pretty sure that the only thing he has in here is like a dragon squad, because the TOW-2 is still back there, and the second TOW-2 is on the left side, so it's very unlikely that he has his last TOW-2 deployed somewhere around here, especially as he has only recently taken it. And also a T-72 coming in again as well. This is the cheap T-72 without the smoke launchers, but I like them quite a bit, because I mean, they also have even less range than the standard T-72, but they are quite good if you like want to support your infantry, but with something that's not as shit as a T-55. So it's like a in-between thing. I'm not a big fan of such tanks that, like, you know, are not especially cheap and not especially good most of the time. But in this case, I don't know. I just think it kind of fits the division, honestly. The division playstyle, T-72M, like a actual T-72 with the normal gun range and the smoke launcher. Coming in on the left as well. I don't want to put my command tank in there again because, as you can see, it's very heavily damaged. So that would be a bad idea, using my artillery just to soften him up. You see on the left-hand side, I'm still holding the sector. I also have like quite a lot of troops here now. 2 Pioneer Flams, another Mordschützen squad. The Sicherung squad still surviving. Also brought up a T-55 here for the right side because I was afraid that he might just, you know, cheekily go around this side. I like to do that quite often. You can use this forest here, for example, for cover. to sneak through, and this force here to provide fire support. Because as you can see, most people, for example also me in this game, don't really put recon here. Was a mistake by me, honestly. Should have put recon here, but I was just too focused on the battle going on. Oh, told you, shooting at the BMPs. Now I put my tube artillery on the job and try to get the Tochu, but you can see it already moved out of the artillery circle, so yeah, that's a bit sad, but that's the big advantage of the mortars, as I said, because they fire so much quicker, your enemy doesn't have time to move out most of the times. F-111 coming in to bomb a BMP again. I'm pretty sure it goes down this time. No, it doesn't, but my cluster bomber did go down without killing the M1A1, losing MiG-23, but I killed his F-16, so it was still not a good trade for me. But at least I got something. I'm pretty sure he should be running out of F-16s at this point, or at least running low on them. Here he is deploying more infantry on the left. I'm pretty sure I have not seen them yet. Because I'm still concentrated on the right side here, and because there's an Abrams here, I am really focused on microing him, or microing my T-72s against Abrams. Conquerors unfortunately misses, or that could have been a kill already. But you see, if you have two T-72s and you move onto the Abrams, you stand a decent chance against it. In this case also it didn't hit, but even if it would have been full health, the engagement of two T-72s against one Abrams is okay-ish. Now I definitely see how his infantry, you can see my mortars are already on the job to suppress his infantry there. I now move in my T-72 again on the right-hand side. You can see I have more infantry deployed on the left, and two tanks, a T-55 and T-72, to come in and flank him again. Dislodging his infantry here, very important. One Schützen squad here is very low, so I'm pulling up the supply. Also need supply for the Conquest here because it's completely out of ammo. His command is in the open, but unfortunately I don't have any bomber to suicide on it because I have already lost them all. Two Abrams also supporting on the left hand side, so that's really bad for me, because I only have the one Conquerors at like one T-72 and a T-55. And like 2 against 1 is okay, but 2, especially with 1 being a T-55 against 2 M1A1s, that's already a very bad engagement. You don't want to take it. You can see how badly I shot up his infantry already with my mortars and my tanks, and the infantry just shooting them while they move through the open. So that was a bad engagement by him. He should have smoked it off here if he wanted to try something like that. I just keep my mortars firing here in case he puts a command here, and in case his TOW moves up further. Fortunately it doesn't. On the right hand side, steadily progressing. Spot an M1A1 stationary in the tree line here, so I put my artillery on the job. Moving up the T-72s closer to keep him engaged and also do more damage, of course. See, those are his elite rangers. Like, they are good, but if you're moving into close range specialists and infantry squads with Resolute at Vet 1, you're not going to have a good time. Conquerors being reloaded by the supply truck. As you can see, it's already at Vet 2. I bring them in at 0 Vet, by the way, so done a lot of damage. Fortunately, the supply truck gets hit, but doesn't matter because the game already ends. And I got myself a win. Right now I have a perfect streak of 4 wins. But yeah, as I said, first 3 don't really count because they were against very low-level players. You can see he lost quite a few places recently. Sad for the guy, but do we like that sometimes? Yeah, fairly good KD. Considering that the 7th Panzer Division is still more of a spam division, where you don't really want to, like, you obviously always want to trade efficiently, but you want to try to overwhelm your enemy with a lot of tanks and maybe infantry as well, though I go more with an elite infantry build, but still with a lot of tanks. So let's look at the kills and losses. Yeah, the Conquerors on the left hand side did get quite a few and important kills, especially the command kill early on. SA-22 really didn't do that much. The two helicopters here, you see, they didn't do a lot of damage necessarily, but they still were very important to stabilize the front line. Because if I wouldn't have killed off those three, well, I think those two squads were the ones I killed off early, he could have gotten a foothold in the city, and that would have been very, very bad. Together with his use of smoke, that could have been very ugly for me. Um, and another conquerors, I think there was somewhere on the right-hand side. Yeah, just getting a few meaningless kills. Yeah, the two other helicopters, the other Mi-24P, I think didn't even get any kills. So yeah, helicopter micro was not exactly my strength this game. This Su-24 though getting a hefty amount of infantry kills. 3 Dragon squads is, I would consider that a okay trade. The cluster here getting 2 Abrams and a Bradley is very good at M35 on top. Other than that, yeah, that's the conquerors that got you Veterancy 2, I'm pretty sure at least. Also getting a lot of important kills, command, M1A1 sniping 2 infantry squads in their transports, super important. This BMP was on the right side and I missed the engagement in the game. In the replay and in the game, actually. It's killed off iHawk with its Fagot ATGM, which is quite hilarious, honestly. This T-72 on the right-hand side, the command, getting 2 Abrams, was well microed by me, to be fair, and also a bit lucky. The howitzers not doing that much, but yeah, this T-72M also getting Abrams. That's already a very good trade. And yeah, other than that, I don't really had any hero units here. It was just I would say average solid game by most standards. You see also his troops didn't really perform particularly well, except for this one Abrams that pushed through and almost killed my command. You see it also got like the Strela 10M, that was pretty painful, but eventually didn't get the command, so didn't really help him or didn't give him what he needed. And yeah, the laser guided bombers. I mean, this one here literally just killed one BMP, and this one killed a BMP, an infantry, and an SPW. Like, this is just abysmal for a over 200 point investment for just one bomber. Yeah, I don't even take them in my deck. They're just not worth it at all, in my opinion. Especially because also your air slots are quite expensive in 8th. So yeah, just take something else, guys. They're just not worth it. Take more M1A1s. They're worth it, especially if you micro them well. Yeah. So I am back on WARNO. I am having fun again with the game. And so you can expect more videos. And I hope you will be there for them. So I don't know when the next one will come out, but hopefully it will be soon. But I don't want to ramble on too long. Thank you for watching, and I hope I see you next time. Bye bye.